In this video, I'm at the British Car Museum near Napier in New Zealand. Now, I have to warn you, this isn't going to be a pretty one. As you can kind of tell, there's an XJ6 and a bubble Rover 200 sitting on top of a container, not looking in great shape. And there's a Austin Princess over there looking arguably even worse. But I do believe there are going to be some proper treasures inside. So happy am I about being able to get here, but I even managed to track down a British car to arrive in. I'm arrived in this Land Rover. There'll be a separate test video coming on that, or will have already appeared. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what lurks beneath. I'm a bit early for my appointment, so just take in this rather tragic princess. Been here a long time, judging by how faded the interior has got, but these were assembled here. They weren't sold in New Zealand, but they were sorry, in Australia, but they were assembled here in New Zealand. Now, I had been told that sadly the owners passed away, and that is the case, but it wasn't possible to visit. But it is possible to visit. You can actually make bookings, but the family are trying to find their way with things at the moment. Obviously, the death of the owner is a sad incident, so they're just trying to work out how best to proceed. But if you contact the tourist board in Napier, they should be able to put you in touch with the people who are now looking after the museum. That's the family of Ian who set up the place. But it's getting too windy out here, so I think we should head indoors. And as we come in, you begin to see the scale of the place. Cars absolutely everywhere. An Austin Tasman there, next to next to a Morris 1800, 2 3 litres. But let's see what else is here. But yeah, the number of Morris miners in here is quite remarkable, and this convertible here is quite unusual because it seems to have side screens rather than the fixed side windows we got in the UK. So Mini Moke, Wolseley Hornet, Riley Elf, a veritable sea of miners. The smell, I can only describe to you the smell. I can't capture it on camera, but the smell is magnificent. It is just the smell of old England. The leather and yeah, the carpeting, it all has that distinct aroma about it. Gosh, big old Bedford, I think. Old Dennis. Quite remarkable. Little A30, more miners, Escort XR3i, convertible. But yeah, you can see the cars are all stacked up on this slightly iffy racking, but nonetheless it seems to be doing the job. Yeah, the scale of this place is truly remarkable. Austin A50 Cambridge, tested one of those up in Auckland, so go and check that video. Has got a bit dark in here. Ford KA in a car collection, standard 10. Wow. Success. Gosh, it just goes on. Vauxhall Luton, Vivas and Victors. Gorgeous Mk2 Cavalier down there with headlamp wipers. I can see a Zephyr over there. That's planning ahead. Astra Coupe convertible. Definitely the land of Vauxhalls. There is a Sunbeam Rapier. Someone was asking about Sunbeam Rapiers. I don't think I'm going to be able to drive that one though. You see, it's got the pillarless styling. It is effectively a Hillman Hunter. Fastback. Gosh. Oh, there may be some Morris dancers floating around as you do. Sunbeam Talbot 90. Beautiful car, Triumph Mayflower, driven one of those fairly recently. A Triumph, that looks very dubious, 2000 up on the top. Hillman Avenger estate. Rover Metro, once they drop the Austin badge, Rover P6, we've got a 4-cylinder and a V8 there. You can see the V8's got the effectively a chin spoiler underneath. Rover 3 litre P4 Cyclops. Beautiful colour. I forget what it's called. Ooh. The Rover R8 convertible. Standard Vanguard 6. So that was the first car to use the 6-cylinder Triumph engine, which in a previous video I incorrectly said was related to the Massey Ferguson engine used in this standard Vanguard. Incorrect. The Vanguard 6 engine was effectively a 6-cylinder version of the Triumph Herald engine, so that was my error, but it's very difficult to correct a video once you've published it. So that'll teach me for not checking my facts before I speak, maybe. So this is a standard Vanguard Phase 3, and that's Phase 1 above it with the Beetle back, and there's another one, for example, but this is a Phase 2, which had a conventional boot, but this is a Sportsman, which was, it's a Phase 3, slightly tweaked front end, but it's got a TR3 engine and gearbox, and very, very rare, and it actually, for some reason, wore the Triumph Globe, for reasons we can't fully understand. So this board reckons only 991 were built, so that is a key rarity, that is a key car of interest here. Daimler Conquest and the Lanchester version next to it. Identical cars, but whereas the Conquest has a 6-cylinder engine, the Lanchester has a 4-cylinder. Got pre-select transmission in both vehicles. And this is also interesting. We've got the big Austin shear line here, but we've got another Singer SM1500, which is the car we saw at the National Toy and Transport Museum in Wanaka, next to two Hunters. Both these two are Singer Hunters, which are the later version with a flashy grille. I mean, these cars are exceptionally rare, and there's 3 of them. Remarkable. I mean, Triumph Stag is almost a bit common with its V8 engine of 3 litres and pantograph driver's wiper. Top cars. Pair of Morris Oxford MOs. Driven one of those. We've got a video. We've got more Marinas along here. That one's a TC with various bills. Ital. I didn't think any Itals had made it out of the UK, but this one clearly did. And there's the later Marina 3. So that's the earlier Marina. That's a facelift Marina. That's the 3rd Marina, and then they moved on to Ital. FX4, as you'd expect. We've got a Morris Kimberley here. Because in New Zealand they were sold as Morris and Austin. Still want to get my hands on one of those, hoping it's going to happen in Australia. All of the routes along this lineup. We've got Imps and Minxes. Singer Vogue badge engineered version. This Imp is on UK plates. And that's got a story to tell. It's quite interesting. That's the correct front end for a Hunter. But these two have the blingy one of the Humber Scepter. Here's a nice shot. If I can get all of those in. So we've got the Riley, Wolseley, Morris, Austin, and Vanden Pla versions of the 1100. That's quite a nice display to see. So you can see the various front ends. For my money, I think the Vanden Pla is the prettiest, although that with a black grille works quite nicely. Slightly different Morris grille on that one so you can compare. Jagland has been achieved. We've got some Jowets here. This reckons it's the only one in New Zealand going, but it hasn't been on the road since 2013, so it's clearly been a while. Ah, we were missing the MG version of the 1100, so there you go. Chevettes, look at that for a colour. That looks like a Roots colour. So I wonder if these were assembled in the same factory. Vauxhall Victors and Viscounts and VX 420s, sorry, Velox. Yeah, the old droop snoot Chevette. I can see a Calibra on the end there as well. 58 ugly plate on the F-Type Victor up there. A PA police car. I'm guessing there'll probably be a Velox. You'd go for the engine rather than the spec, wouldn't you, really? So the Velox was a cheap man's Cresta. Look at this Cavalier. This is a very early Vauxhall Cavalier. And you can tell because it's only the first year or two of production that had the wiper on the left hand side for right hand drive. They moved it over in about 1984. Fun facts. But these early Cavaliers, yeah, full of very plush velour. I'm sorry it's a bit dark in here, so it's a bit difficult to see. I have a torch, but it's going to be a bit focused in terms of light, I feel. There you go. Automatic as well. And this is one of the Vauxhall Senators that I want very, very, very much. Carlton, which shares the same basic structure. These are also getting deliciously retro now, especially pre-facelift ones, very rare. Slightly odd that they're all covered in magazines, but again, this is one of those places where it's hoarding gone absolutely mad. I personally don't really understand the point in having cars that aren't used. I find it terribly sad. So we don't know what the future of this place is, but hopefully it will remain here and people can keep visiting. Ford Zephyr Mark III versus Mark IV. Pair of Cortinas. And Ford 8. And a CX-10 there. Some very dusty Heralds. That's a very early one with these small indicator units. Oh, station wagon. It says 65, but interesting. I wouldn't have thought those small indicators would be used, but maybe it was assembled here. Gosh, I think that one's a 1360. But it's hard to tell. From here I can't quite see the front end of it. Fantastically purple standard 10. Mini pickup, described as a mini ute. I suppose it is really. Nice Ford Zephyr 6 and the Consul, I think there, on which it is based. Consul Classic down there. What's that badge? That's Prefect Estate. I don't think they were Prefect Estate badged in the UK. That's a Rover Mini 30 special edition with a half leather interior, which is mostly in the dark. 1978 Mini Clubman, complete with the fake wood trim. Rather colourful Skoda. It's a serious work of art. Blimey. And here we've got a Ford Capri. These were built in Australia. They use the Mazda 323 platform, I think. Not generally sold in the UK. There is one in the UK. Another Austin 3 litre. Behind this remarkable Art Deco Skoda is another Singer Hunter. The so rare you never see them Singer Hunter, which there are 3 of them here it seems. That looks very much like a Range Rover in Trocadero red, which is quite interesting because I've been driving around in one today. But yeah, we're not allowed to go any further. But another Victor F type, very early one with a humped bonnet, Jensen Healy up there. You can see Bedford CA's CF, Morris J, and I can see a Leyland Sherpa down there as well. That section we are not allowed into. Quite an interesting Cortina there, interesting bumpers on it. But yes, access denied. There's also this weird little thing. This is weird and lovable. A nice Bedford truck. Little A40 Farina Countryman. Morris Oxford Estate, showing the same sort of tailgate arrangement. Brings back some memories. Spent many happy hours in my childhood pretending to drive my aunt's Morris Oxford. Shame it's so dark, but there you go. Badge engineered Austin Cambridge. Yeah, early low light minor. Slightly later highlight minor. And an Austin Princess buried under telephones. This museum definitely has things you don't get everywhere. Ugh, cobwebs apparently. Gosh. Morris 1300 Estate. They're pretty rare. Oh yeah, we're not really allowed into that section. And we're not really allowed into this section either, so I won't be going any further. Got some Rove Commas, Marina, Van, Mini. Blimey. Blimey, the list goes on and on. This is the forbidden section, but we can't get into. But little A30 Countryman there, possibly A35. Gosh, what a quite remarkable place, and inevitably it has acquired a load of other tat. I'm not sure how to get the instruments up here, to be honest, but they have managed. Look at all this, all these tunes for the pianola. Shows you the incredible mechanism in the pianola that enables it to read music like this. Early programmable computer really, and all these various things allow it to play the piano. Yeah, look at that for a view. I've only just noticed the sheer volume of number plates in here. So the black ones are the old New Zealand plates, and when they ran out of those they moved to these. So a quick reminder that number plates relate to the date the car was registered, not necessarily how old it is. So if it lost its rego at some point, it will have been given a more modern plate. So there's a minor on its original black MT plate, I suspect, and this one's on an ADJ. But you can also buy your own private plate, like this one, for example. Another British car here is this Rover 75 diesel. As you can see, it's of the final facelift shape. These are the this is what they came up with to try and refresh the car during the last days of MG Rover, and the owner wanted it to go to this museum. So that's Ian, who has sadly passed away, who owns this museum, and that's Brian, who sadly passed away and donated this car. So it was donated from the other side of the world, and looking quite tiny next to this Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, Silver Shadow 1 with the chrome bumpers. Yeah, I sadly don't think that's going to do that car much good. Ford Mercury Hertz, quite a thing. Bentley Mark 6, an Armstrong Siddeley Whitley. Yeah, what an astonishing but also quite sad place. So there we go. That was the British Car Museum, a place I wasn't expecting to see. Many of you wanted me to visit here. I didn't think it was going to be possible, to be honest, but it was possible. We have been here and it has been truly extraordinary. Just having a quick look out. I was kind of hopeful they might have an Austin Apache here. I thought they did, but I haven't seen one, so maybe they don't. So I shall say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video. Farewell.